name is Bob Smith. I'm the current president of the co-op board, and welcome to the Central Electric annual meeting for the co-op. One request: if anyone has any ballots for the board members that you have not yet provided, please turn them in now. They are going to be counted during this meeting. So thank you for attending the 88th annual meeting. We hope you all were able to attend the member appreciation event that took place in June at our headquarters. We hope you took the opportunity to enjoy the information presented by the employees of CEC and the fellowship among members, staff, and the board and directors that the event provided. These events are for you, our members, and we hope they continue to show our appreciation. You'll want to stay until the end of tonight's meeting as some of you will win door prizes. All winners must be members to be members of the co-op and be present to win. We also hope you enjoy the bill credit each member in attendance will receive. Now, I'll ask you, as I did a little earlier, please silence your cell phones. We sometimes get some musical entertainment. Medical assistance is available here at during the meeting, and we'd like to thank the Knox Ambulance Service for being here tonight. I also want to remind everyone that tonight's meeting is being recorded and will be available on Central Electric's website. Let's now begin the 88th annual meeting of the members of the Central Electric Co-op. Now, I'd appreciate it if everyone could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you will remain standing, we're going to have our Stacy Bechtel. She's an IT specialist for Central Electric, and she's going to sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Now, if you'll please bow your heads, Chris Panion, our commercial accounts manager, will lead us in an invocation for tonight's meeting. Following that invocation, Matt Beauchamp, our CEO and general manager, will begin our introductions.
Good evening, everybody. Please join me in a moment of prayer. Lord, we are thankful for our cooperative founded 88 years ago by forward-thinking individuals whose work still benefits us today. Lord, we're thankful for our members, our directors, those who would be directors, and all those who have stepped up from the membership over the years to serve. Lord, we are thankful for the employees who are privileged to serve, providing a life-essential service. So, Lord, in the spirit of gratitude, we ask your blessing on our meeting here this evening. Bless all in attendance and all who've worked throughout the year to make this evening possible. And finally, we ask for safe travel home this evening once our business is concluded. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
And now we'll hear from Matt Beauchamp.
Good evening, everyone. As Bob mentioned, my name's Matt Beauchamp. I'm the CEO and General Manager here at Central Electric. I'd like to again welcome you all to the 88th annual meeting of our membership. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to participate in the business of your cooperative. Your participation is what makes the cooperative difference. I do want to say thank you to Central Electric's own Stacy Bechtel for her rendition of the national anthem. Could you join me in clap as well? Thank you. I almost screamed play ball when she was done. Thank you, Stacy. I'd also like to take this opportunity to introduce our member-elected board of directors. This group probably doesn't need any introduction from me for you all, as they're your neighbors, your friends, and they've been very active in the communities that we serve for many years. They represent you, our membership, diligently through their hard work on Central's board. We're fortunate to have a board with such a wide variety of experience in their personal and professional lives, as they offer unique perspective to the governance of our cooperative. Please join me in recognizing them and thanking them for their service. Tonight, you've already met Robert Smith, our board president and Butler County representative. Jody Weaver to his left, our board vice president and Clarion County representative. Althea Smith on my right, our board secretary and treasurer, and Venango County representative, and the Pennsylvania Rural Electric Association board member representing Central. Richard Weaver, our Clarion County representative, and the Allegheny Electric Cooperative board member representing Central. Nancy Lendak, our Armstrong County representative. Kenneth Durrett, our Butler County representative. Ken Etzels, our Venango County representative, and Ken is serving in his last official act as a board member for the cooperative this evening. He's obviously not running for re-election, and our candidate pool of 5 candidates running to fill his seat are a wonderful testament to the cooperative difference. I'd like to take just a moment and thank Ken for his time on our board and his service to you as our members, if you'd join me in doing that. Staff always love it when I go off script, and lastly, Jared McFarland, our newest board member from Forest County. Also seated with us is Central Electric Legal Counsel Attorney Michael Sloat of Lynn King and Schreffler PC. Back there. We're not going to clap for the attorney, come on. Next, I'd like to introduce our Member Aware Advisory Committee. This group serves a 2-year term during which Central Electric staff provide information about the cooperative and the electric utility industry, and the members bring items for discussion. It's a great program that offers me the opportunity to interact more directly with individual members on a regular basis. It's one of my favorite programs that we have here at Central. Again, as it says, as I mentioned here, I read the script, of course, but it gives me the opportunity to interact with you on a different level than calling in to address the concern that you might have, and it's a wonderful opportunity. Just like tonight, our opportunity for all the staff here present tonight to be able to interact with you as well. So in introducing them, if you are present with us this evening, please stand up. And if I terribly butcher your last name, I apologize in advance. Brian Opitz, representing Butler County. Susan Daniels, representing Butler County. Timothy Edmonds, representing Butler County. Robert Best, representing Clarion County. Dennis and Deb Meals representing Clarion County, and Deborah Earnhardt representing Venango County. And then lastly, Samuel and Kimberly Wagner representing Forest County. Again, thank you for your time. This is the end of, they're coming up at the end of this year, the end of their cycle in our program, so I really appreciate them taking the time to participate. A new committee will be forming in 2026, and if you would like to participate with our MAC committee, please contact our office. We're always looking for more members on that group. Also joining us today and helping us is Morgan Webb from the Pennsylvania Rural Electric Association. She's over yonder, waving in the corner. Again, Pennsylvania Rural Electric Association, or PRA, and America's Electric Cooperatives, PAC. That's why she's at the table with our newest employee, Katrina Konechny, and yes, I pronounced that correctly. You're welcome. Again, the PAC is a bipartisan political action committee that financially assists state and federal legislators who support cooperative initiatives and rural communities like ours. If you're already a member of the PAC, I thank you for joining our efforts and recognizing the importance of our voice in Harrisburg and Washington, D.C. And if you'd like more information about the PAC or how to become a member, please see Morgan. Whether you join the PAC or not, let me ask you to ensure that rural Pennsylvania has a voice by exercising your right to vote. At this time, I'd like to welcome Bob Smith back to the podium to continue our introductions.
Okay, this June, Central Electric sent 3 local high school students on a youth tour to Washington, D.C. Our student representatives were able to spend a week in our nation's capital with their cooperative student representatives from across the country. And from what I understand, there were these number in the hundreds. They met with their local legislators, toured historic sites and monuments, and made new friends. The representatives were Alea Folderson of AC Valley High School, Arabella Savannah from Slippery Rock High School, and Nadine McLean from Montour High School. Additionally, Central Electric awarded 10 Good Neighbor Scholarships to students who demonstrate an exceptional level of non-paid service to their school, community, and or church. Our 2025 Good Neighbor Scholarship winners are Kaylee Baker from Keystone High School, Max Formini from Armstrong High School, Eden Prieto from Franklin Area High School, Jessica Cornell, Butler Senior High School, Riley Brophy from Franklin Area High School, Taylor Daly, Penn West Edinburgh University, Ava Burke from Penn State University, Bella Turman from Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, and Kendall Findlay from Slippery Rock University. We're proud of all of our young ambassadors and would like to see more young people become involved with the cooperative. So I ask for your help in encouraging young members you know to become involved with Central Electric. It is their cooperative too, and they are our future. And now we will call this meeting to order. The agenda or order of business of the annual meeting of the members is in accordance with Article 3, Section 6 of the bylaws. Article 3, Section 4 of the bylaws of the cooperative specify that 150 members constitute a quorum except if there is no contested director election, in which case the quorum is conducted through business required just by 8 members. The board of directors, members in attendance, and the members that voted by mail and online satisfy the quorum requirements, and we will proceed with the meeting. Upon request, you received, upon registration, you received a copy of last year's minutes. To expedite our business meeting, can I hear a motion to dispense of the reading of the minutes of the 2024 annual meeting of the members and approve the same? Well, okay. We're going to we'll need to get the name of the person moving, and is there a second to this motion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? No? Motion carried. Our balance sheets and operating statement were included as part of the annual report that appears in August issue of Power Lines. The copy was mailed to every member and is accessible on the cooperative's website. Additionally, a printed copy was provided to everyone in attendance. In view of this, I'd entertain a motion to approve the financial statements. May I have a motion to approve? Is there a second to that motion? Ah. Okay. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Now we're going to hear from our Central Electric CEO and General Manager, Matt Beauchamp.
Thank you again, Mr. President. Well, since we're ahead of schedule, my very brief remarks I'm going to extend a lot, so we're going to stay up here for a lot longer tonight. I'm just kidding. Although I would like to ask, because all three of our youth tour students that Bob introduced are here tonight. So if I couldn't see from the back here, if you stood up, but would you please stand up and be recognized? All three of our youth tour students. 1, 2, where's that? Yeah, thank you, right over here. Thank you. So this is not part of my remarks, but I'm going off script, so the staff loves that. They did a wonderful job representing you and our Central Electric Cooperative in Washington, D.C. I got feedback from PRA about that, so we just wanted to make sure I shared that with you all. They came to our board meeting our last board meeting in July and gave a presentation to our board. I want to say there were 80 pictures that they put up in front of our board. So a lengthy presentation to our board, but it was a very positive one. So it sounds like they had a great trip. If you get an opportunity to interact with them, please do. If you know any students that are in that junior of high school range, we're always looking to expand the number of people we're sending there. So it's a wonderful program. It really helps to extend education about the cooperatives, and please participate if you're able. So let me jump back to my remarks. I'm going to have to hold this because it's going to drive me crazy if I don't. Okay. Again, thank you. Let me once again thank you for joining us for the 88th annual meeting of our membership. This is one of those events that really sets a cooperative apart from an investor-owned utility. So again, thank you for your participation. I'd like to reiterate what Bob had mentioned earlier about if you were one of the people who participated in our recent member appreciation event, in our offices in June. Thank you for participating. It's a great event because of you. And if you were unable to join us, we hope that next year you're able to find time in your schedule to come join us. It's a really great opportunity to meet staff and see some of the facilities that you're paying for. So it's great that you get a chance to see what we're doing. So preparing my remarks in August for the annual meeting, when I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about 2024, is always a little difficult for me because I don't like to look backwards much. One of my favorite quotes is a Walt Disney quote. Those of you that know me know that my wife and I were married at Disney World, so we're kind of Disney crazy people. But with that said, one of his famous quotes starts along the lines, "Around here we don't look backward very often, we keep moving forward. And that's certainly an advocate, I'm an advocate of that mentality. So when I'm looking back, that's not something I generally like to do. But it can be a challenge for me. Let's see, I just jumped over things that the reason I don't care to look backwards much, that's what, is because I tend to look back, as many of us do, nostalgically with those rose-colored glasses, and I tend to focus on only the good times from the good old days. You know what I mean. The music was better, probably not. The movies were better, some of them. Our sports teams were better. Yes, I'm sorry, the Steelers were better, than they're going to be this year. Sorry to burst your bubble. And certainly the further I get away from my football playing days, I get better and better and better every year. So, but if we're being honest with ourselves, the good old days also included some pretty dramatic events: the Great Depression, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the gas shortages and recession of the 1970s, the attacks of 9/11, a global pandemic, and my goodness, disco, and we've even survived the mullet. And yes, I rocked the mullet back in the day. So to quote one of those great old songs from the 80s, the good old days weren't always good, and tomorrow ain't as bad as it seems. And for those of you that don't recognize that line, it's from that iconic Billy Joel from the 1980s, his 1983 song, Keeping the Faith. So there are many big challenges that are facing Central Electric today, and it would be easy to wring our hands and hope for a time that was easier in the good old days. But who are we kidding? The cooperatives were born from one of the biggest challenges our country's ever seen. Our very formation in 1937 was our founders banding together to electrify rural America in overcoming the biggest challenge of the day, the Great Depression. And we've weathered a number of many challenges over the years since then. We've thrived and we've learned and we've grown and we've gotten stronger. Today's concerns, however, are very well publicized. Electricity demands are greater than they've ever been because we've got the electrification of the transportation sector. And if you haven't heard about data centers, I'm surprised because they're being talked about constantly. And certainly data centers to serve that new AI load that's out there. And those are all happening when our electric supply is unable to keep pace because the demand is growing exponentially. And the reasons that our demand can't keep pace, our supply can't keep pace is that our capacity of generation is much smaller than it used to be because we're a deregulated market now, so there's not as much reserve. The premature closure of baseload generation caused by changing rules in the regulatory environment, and frankly, a lack of understanding by those that are making the rules that not all generation is created equal in serving the grid. And of course, significant storm events pose an ever-present threat to our reliability efforts. But today's concerns are not quite unique, and the good old days had their share of concerns as well. The first electrification efforts were made using direct current, and that limited the distance between generators and substations. Just this last weekend, I found myself back in Michigan for the weekend with my wife and was standing in the recreation of Thomas Edison's Menlo Park workshop. And so I saw where that all began, and again, got me thinking backwards, that I don't like to do very often, but pointed out that once we transitioned to alternating current instead, we addressed those issues, and tip of the cap to Mr. Nikola Tesla for doing that for us. And the economics of the day made it so companies only served densely populated areas to maximize the profit. Enter the cooperatives in that 1937 era. In those early days, we were faced with some of the same concerns we are facing today, namely the exceedingly fast growth of demand outpacing the availability of supply. Stories of tornadoes and ice storms and other extreme weather events are nothing new. Our past is littered with them. But I don't want my comments to be misunderstood tonight. I'm not trying to say that we aren't facing challenges today. Certainly, I just want to make sure that instead, I hope they illustrate that in the case of previously occurring events, we have experience in addressing those concerns and the luxury of learning from the mistakes we made. And regarding the issues that we have not yet faced, We follow a planning and response methodology that allows us to navigate the pitfalls and come to effective resolutions. At Central, we created a dynamic strategic plan that allows us to react to changing requirements daily while looking forward and creating goals for the future of the organization. And whether because of the lessons learned or the inherent benefits of the cooperative business model, we are uniquely positioned to address the challenges we face today and that we will face in the future. In other words, we haven't been successful by accident, and we won't be successful in the future by accident either. Our focus on utilizing the cooperative principles to help us provide safe, reliable, and affordable power allows us to navigate both daily challenges and those that pose concerns for our future. Our relationship with our generation and transmission supplier, that's Allegheny Electric Cooperative, if you don't recall, it's a perfect example of cooperation between cooperatives and has allowed for stable wholesale rates in 2024 and a very modest increase in wholesale rates in 2025, which is, in case you haven't been watching the news, a significant contrast to our investor-owned neighbors. This fact, coupled with Central's efforts to minimize and manage distribution costs, meant that we had no rate increase for our members in 2024. And in case you didn't notice, despite the news you're hearing, we haven't had one in 2025 either. So it's been since January of 23 since our members have seen a rate increase despite what's going on in the marketplace. We're going to continue our efforts to mitigate any potential rate increase and moving into 26. Our mix of ownership of resources and market purchases through Allegheny is unique in the marketplace and has served us very well. 2024 and 2025, as 2024 and the beginning of 25 have certainly been economically challenging times in our area, and Central's commitment to community, another one of our cooperative principles, was evident in many ways. In April of 2024, we returned over $1.9 million to our members in the form of capital credits, and we did the same thing here in April of 2025. In doing so, we decreased the rotation of our patronage capital, so how long we're holding on to your money, from down to 16 years now. That's compared to 28 years that we used to hold your money as little as 15 years ago. In the same period, our member equity has increased from 30% to over 43%. So much for the good old days, huh? These outstanding financial positions allow us to better be prepared to mitigate the upward rate pressures that we're facing coming in the next year. Through our unclaimed property program, the sheets, we were able to augment low-income energy assistance from the state, helping an additional 489 member families with over $190,000 to pay their electric bill at no cost to our membership. This is going to be particularly important of value to us moving forward, because in subsequent years, we're not certain what the funding level of the low-income energy assistance program will be from the state and federal government. Local governance of your cooperative has never been more important than it is now. Your member-elected board of directors provides guidance and support for our cooperative staff and representation with local, state, and national organizations. I believe the commitment of your current board and the participation in this election cycle, in case I need to reiterate myself, 5 candidates running for the one position, I think those things reflect your recognition of the importance in local governance. Your representatives will make decisions that will guide us through the challenges facing our cooperative from beyond our service territory that include those things I've already mentioned, the increased demands caused by the electrification of the transportation sector and the data centers to serve expanding AI and quantum computing needs, coupled with that generation supply that's hampered by an ever-changing regulatory and legislative environment. It's in these areas that our experience in addressing big challenges is also so valuable. We have already begun discussions and advocacy, the discussions and advocacy necessary to protect the interests of our members regarding these things. We're working with our state and national associations to lobby for the stability and affordability of the generation supply. Our business model provides a level of credibility that other organizations simply don't have. You see, we're not a faceless corporation with deep financial pockets. that have a profit motive. We're a grassroots organization that brings actual people. Tonight's a great example of that, and votes to the table to discuss issues. Because we're a not-for-profit group that advocates consistently for safe, reliable, and affordable power for rural communities throughout the country, our approach is one of education, not direction or manipulation, and ultimately, these facts give us credibility when discussing these issues, and all of that starts right here with you tonight. We're also working to define rate structures that will protect our membership from risk if one of those large loads I mentioned were to connect directly to our system. While certainly there's a benefit to having a load that's going to be larger than our entire system, maybe 10 times larger than our entire system, there's also cost that comes with that. And those costs have got to be borne by the appropriate party and not borne by our entire membership. While cost is always part of our conversation, the bigger picture today is the availability of those generation resources. As I mentioned before, not all generation supply is created equal, and replacing one with another is not necessarily a practical solution. I've already mentioned some of our positive results from 2024, but I'd like to point out a handful of the other initiatives that we have implemented in navigating the challenges for today. As Bob mentioned, we gave 10 Good Neighbor scholarships to those that are furthering their education, some 10 members that are furthering their education. We continued our employee-directed giving program. It gives each of our employees an opportunity to direct a contribution to a local not-for-profit organization within the community. And we continued our capital contribution program, through which our board contributes to not-for-profit agencies for capital improvement projects that they're undertaking. As with the low-income energy assistance that we provided, that we augmented, I should say, all of these programs are funded without impact to our member rates through our unclaimed property or escheats program. As a reminder, that's something that our lobbying team many years ago was able to get the state of Pennsylvania to allow us to retain and use in our local community. So those dollars that are not collected by our members that have left are able to be used locally in this community and not affect our electric rates. Just another program that identifies the uniqueness of a cooperative. In order to insulate ourselves from some future issues, we continually maintain and update miles of distribution lines. We trim trees from hundreds of miles of right-of-way, and we inspect thousands of poles annually. And we've created proactive inspection and replacement programs for the equipment on our distribution lines. Artificial intelligence, I know that sounds like an oxymoron, is not just a concern because of the increased electrical demand it creates, but it also offers an interesting contradiction. It's a great tool that's going to allow us to be able to be much more efficient. But with it comes the cybersecurity threat on steroids. Central is implementing the use of AI judiciously, but with efforts to mitigate the risks that it poses. Cybersecurity has quickly become one of our biggest concerns for today and the future, as with all of our initiatives. As with all of our initiatives, we follow a planning and response methodology with our cybersecurity efforts that provides us with implementation guidelines and emergency response plans should they be required. Going back to Mr. Billy Joel, he was right. The good old days weren't always good, and tomorrow ain't as bad as it seems. Both the past and present share the common ground of both good and difficult times and the common benefit of the cooperative business model and the continuous presence of the dedicated people to implement it. Your board of elected representatives, your employee team, and you, our members, are the constant that directs us through. We've navigated the difficulties of the past using the knowledge and skills gained, have provided a framework for future direction. Tomorrow looks challenging, but the possibilities look promising, and the value of the cooperative model has never been more evident than it is now. With that, I'd like to jump on to some questions that were submitted in advance. I haven't even looked at the time. I think we're still ahead of schedule, so I told you I wasn't going to stay up here that much longer. Every year we ask for people to submit questions in advance if they have them, and I try to do my best to respond to those. Usually there's one or two that are very specific and individual, and so we have our staff reach out to them prior to the meeting and discuss those items. Tonight we've had We had two questions that were on the same topic regarding solar farms. I'll read the questions and the submitting member. One is Central Electric benefiting from the solar farm at Lake Lucy? If so, is my electric bill going to be affected by it? Thank you. And that came from a Keith Etzel. And the other question on solar farms is, on these solar farms, Central Electric does not have the equipment to, quote, hook in. Will Central Electric consider getting the equipment? I'm on a limited income and this would help. And that comes from a Mr. Ronald Dean. My answer is very high level for both of those questions. And I'd just like to point out, Central Electric provides an electric service to the Lake Lucy Solar Farm. So they're a member. We do not purchase the output from the generator, and the operators interconnect to the grid through First Energy lines. So the power they generate is supplied to the grid and is available for consumption by all that purchase power through the PJM market. These types of facilities are intended to be a large generator feeding into the grid, just as a natural gas, coal, or nuclear facility would be. They're not intended to supply load behind the meter. So it's a little bit different approach than an individual solar facility would be, say, at your own home, where if the power was off, you could still supply your home with that solar. This doesn't supply the local area when the power goes off from the grid. So I hope that covers the answer to your question. The next question I have comes from Sue Daniels regarding, I know you all religiously read my articles in the Power Lines newsletter. Show of hands. Okay, great, thanks. And so a couple of months ago, I wrote something about the low-income energy assistance program, LIHEAP, and the concerns about it. Every year, LIHEAP supplies many members, and it's reported in our annual report, many members with assistance in paying their power bills, and we augment that with escheats dollars as well. The question is, where are you with the LIHEAP funding project? And my response is simply, the Low-Income Energy Assistance Program was fully funded by the federal government and distributed by the state in 2025. The funding for that program is not currently included in recently passed federal legislation. So we are working with our state and national lobbyists to educate legislators on the importance of the program to our communities. We've always augmented that funding utilizing our available escheats funding to assist our members, and we'll continue and augment that program. There was a individual question that was specifically responded to a member, so I'll skip that one. And then the last two questions that I have in advance came from a Ms. Joyce Miller. How do you find the outage, and how long does it take you to get there and fix the problem? And then there was another very specific question about outages, about a specific outage that took place that I won't get into the detail of that outage, but I do want to respond to both of those questions in one answer with regard to outages and how we manage those, because I think that's an important topic our members would have some interest in. Central's outage restoration process begins with a report of an outage from one of you. We locate the outage based on the calls that come in and the location of the devices on the lines that interrupt service, fuses or reclosers, for example. Once we determine the interrupting device, we review the line until we find the source of the fault condition, usually a tree or a squirrel or something along that line. We then take steps to effect the repair. Outages can be, this is the part that is a little bit bigger picture. Outages can be individual, your own service drop. They can be a tap fuse that might affect as little as a few people or as many as 100 people or so. Or they could be an entire feeder outage, which is upwards of several hundred people, or they could be our entire substation that's out of service. So sometimes when you are, I'll go back to the horrible storm we had in 2018, the ice storm, we have an outage that would be considered layered. You could have had your service drop down and a tap fuse out and the feeder out and our substation off. So when we bring the substation back on, then we're able to find out which feeders are off. And then we're able to bring a feeder back on, and then we're able to find out which tap fuses are off. And then we bring a tap fuse back on, and then we're able to find the individual that's off. Now that's a very uncommon, knock on wood, situation to have happen, but the reality is that's where some of that comes from. Recently, a lot of our storms that have passed through the area have also been very spotty storms. So because of those larger areas that can be affected, if a storm blew through and say a microburst hit near our substation and knocked out a specific feeder, well, in your house miles away from that, you may have seen nothing but a sunny day, and that little microburst knocked out your whole feeder, so you would be out of service until we were able to restore power to that feeder. In the case of the other outage that we were referring to, that's the scenario that took place, and I know we had staff reach out to that member and talk to him directly about that. That is the end of the questions in advance, and I should have grabbed my script to know where I'm at, because I think I'm supposed to talk about any of you that may want to come up and ask a question. There is a microphone here. I'm going to read the rules. Give me a second to find that. That's terrible that I have not left it on the correct page. Do you have that? Thank you, Bob. Questions from the floor. For those members who chose not to submit questions in advance, a microphone has been placed in front of the stage so all may hear your question. Each person will have 2 minutes to ask any questions, and a response of equal time will be given. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for anybody who might have a question to ask. Alrighty. I'm not seeing a mad rush, so if there are no further questions, then Central Electric's legal counsel will now offer his report. Mike Sloat.
An affidavit by the Cooperative Secretary affirms that notice of the time and place of this annual meeting was mailed to each cooperative member as such member's address appears in the cooperative records. The affidavit, as well as a copy of the notice, will be attached to the minutes of the meeting. In accordance with Pennsylvania's Electric Cooperative Law 1990, electric cooperatives are managed by a board of directors. As required by its bylaws, Central Electric's board consists of 8 directors. Each director's seat is derived from districts created from the counties served by the cooperative. Each director's seat is a term of 4 years, and each year 2 director seats are up for election. The 2 seats up for election this year are Venango County and Clarion County. Earlier this year, the cooperative's monthly newsletter called Power Lines, which is archived in the cooperative's website and among other communications, invited cooperative members of Venango and Clarion County to file a petition to run for these respective seats. The eligibility requirements for serving as a director of the cooperative are provided in the cooperative bylaws and in the member handbook. The cooperative bylaws and the member handbook are available at the cooperative's website at www.central.coop. The board appoints members to a nominating committee to ensure that petitioning members are eligible. The nominating committee reviews the petitions to verify whether each petitioner is qualified in accordance with the cooperative bylaws. Those that qualify are nominated and their names are placed on the ballot. We'd like to thank the following members that serve on the nominating committee: Harvey Luce of Armstrong County, Joe Gibson of Butler County, Angela Bernardo of Butler County, James Reed of Clarion County, Randy Theron of Clarion County, Dennis Lamb of Forest County, Carl Gadsby of Venango County, and Ron Pernick of Venango County. The cooperative bylaws provide that incumbent directors are automatically nominated as long as they continue to meet the qualifications. Our Venango County incumbent director, Ken Etzel, decided to retire and not run for another term. I think Matt had mentioned that earlier. There were 5 qualifying candidates nominated to run for the Venango County director seat: Dana Kellogg of Cranberry, Deborah Earhart of Venus, Lisa Groner of Cranberry, Richard Krall of Emlenton, and Travis Crate of Venus. There was one qualifying candidate nominated to run for the Clarion County Director seat. It's incumbent Director Jody Weaver of Freiburg. The ballots were mailed to the cooperative membership, permitting each member 4 options for voting. The first option is by paper mail. The second option is online through the cooperative website. The third option is online through Smart Hub, the cooperative's online account management service. And the fourth was to cast your ballot here tonight before the beginning of the meeting. The mailed and online votes had to be received no later than 3 p.m. yesterday, and the paper ballots tonight were accepted up to the start of the meeting. The collection and tabulation of the mailed and online ballots received prior to tonight's meeting was handled by an independent agency, Survey and Ballot Systems of Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Survey and Ballot Systems reported those results to the Judge of Elections, Clint Mattern. Mr. Mattern was appointed by the board to serve for the Judge of Elections tonight. He's a certified public accountant, and he has offices in Emlenton and Meadville. As the Judge of Elections, Mr. Mattern is overseeing the teller's tabulations of the ballots that were cast tonight, as well as the tabulations that were received by mail from Survey and Ballot Systems. I'd like to thank the following members and volunteers that served on the Tellers Committee: Sue Daniels of Butler County, Margaret Studebaker of Clarion County, Joseph Reed of Butler County, Mary Ann Mistrick of Forest County, and Renata Morgan of Butler County. The Judge of Elections will soon announce those results. Thank you. Now back to Bob.
Thank you, Mike. At this time, is there any unfinished business this evening? Being none, is there any new business this evening? Being no unfinished or new business, let's continue with the election results. I'd like to call Clint Mattern to the podium.
Hi, my name is Clint Mattern. I've been appointed to serve as a judge of elections for Central Electric Director election. The 2025 Central Electric Cooperative Director election results are the following. For Venango County, Dana Kellogg, 623 votes. Deborah Earhart, 381 votes. Lisa Groner, 583 votes. Richard Kral, 400 votes. Travis Crate, 571 votes. The winner for Venango County is Dana Kellogg. For Clarion County, Jody Weaver, incumbent nominee, with 2,255 votes. The winner for Clarion County is Jody Weaver. Thank you.
Okay, door prizes were announced to encourage attendance to the annual meeting. The winners of the 3 Visa gift cards will be announced following the adjournment of this meeting by Nikki Staley. If there's no further business or discussion, I declare the 88th annual meeting of the Central Electric Cooperative adjourned.
Good evening. The winner of the $100 Visa gift card is Dave Bassler of Polk. The winners of the $75 Visa gift card is Lisa and John Groner of Cranberry. The winner of the $50 Visa gift card is James Stantz of Parker. Congratulations to all the winners. The gift cards are available at the registration table. Please stop by prior to leaving. The bill credits given to all members in attendance will appear on the September billing statement. None of these are redeemable for cash. Thank you to everyone who participated in the 88th Central Electric Annual Meeting of the Members. We hope to see you in 2026.
And please remember, everyone, it is approaching deer o'clock out there, so be very careful on the way home.